Hello, myself Dr. VJD Kalyani, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering of Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. In this video, I will discuss about software maintenance and re-engineering. This topic outcome is mapped to the two course outcomes of CO5 and CO6. The CO5 is explain various testing approaches and automation tools, and CO6 is explain the importance of software maintenance and re-engineering process. In this video, I will discuss about what is software maintenance, why it is needed, and what are the key features of software maintenance and types of software maintenance. How re-engineering is related to the software maintenance. So, to define software maintenance, software maintenance is part of the software development lifecycle. In the SDLC, we are having variety of phases like analysis, design, implementation, testing, and deployment. So, after testing the software is deployed into the user environment. Then the software maintenance plays the major role in the after deployment of the software into the customer site. Its primary goal is to modify and update software application after delivery to correct errors and to improve performance. So, software is a model of the real world. So, for what purpose the customer need to develop the project? So, that project is developed and deployed into the real world workload and real world environment at the customer site. So, to the real world modifications or changes, the software is required to update according to the modified requirements. So, software maintenance is required after delivery of the application to the customer site. The need for software maintenance is to correct the errors, change in user requirement with time. So, those requirements, according to that, the code must be updated in the software, changing hardware and software requirements, to improve system efficiency, to optimize code to run faster. So, the performance must be improved with the software maintenance, to modify the components of the project, to reduce any unwanted side effects due to these modifications. The objective of software maintenance is to keep the software system working correctly and efficiently, securely, to ensure that it continues to meet the need of the user. In the SRS, what requirements that are specified by the customer, those must be met with greater accuracy and efficiency and provide more security for the applications with the help of software maintenance. It is also important to consider the cost and effort required for the software maintenance when planning and developing a software system. So, it is important to have well-defined maintenance process which include testing and validation, version control, and communication with stakeholders. The software configuration management SCM plays the major role for the software maintenance to validate the requirements as well as the version control, change control, and communication with the stakeholder is part of the SCM activities. The features of software maintenance are bug fixing. So, the process of finding and fixing errors and problems in the software and make more enhancement, adding new features, improving existing features to meet the evolving needs of the user. And the performance must be optimized by improving the response time, the speed, efficiency, reliability of the software. So porting and migration, the process of adapting the software to run the new hardware and software platforms. So adapt to the new environment with change in technology is the major feature of the software maintenance, so that the compatibility with variety of environments and infrastructures plays the major role in the software maintenance. There are majorly 4 types of software maintenance. One is corrective maintenance, second one adaptive maintenance, preventive maintenance, and perfective maintenance. What is corrective maintenance? Corrective maintenance aims to correct any remaining errors regardless of where they may cause specifications, design, coding, testing, and documentation. So this involves fixing of errors, bugs in the software system. So corrections or bug fixing and identification is majorly the corrective maintenance. So patching is done for corrective maintenance, but it gives rise to unforeseen future errors due to lack of proper impact analysis. So bugs can be clearly identified and fixed in order to avoid the impact analysis on the software. Another variety of software maintenance is adaptive maintenance. Adaptive maintenance contains modifying the software to match changes in the ever-changing environment. So the change of requirements can be easily maintained in case of adaptive maintenance. This involves modifying the software system to adapt to it changes in the environment, such as changes in hardware or software, government policies, and business rules. In case of variety of browsers like the Opera, Internet Explorer, Mozilla, and if the change in government policies, depending upon the nature of the project, the code must be changed. And also the changing business rules and regulations can also greatly impact the adaptive maintenance. The next variety is preventive maintenance. It is the process by which we prevent our system from being obsolete. So it involves the concept of reengineering, reverse engineering, in which an old system with old technology is re-engineered using the new technology. So the migration from existing system with new technology is major aim of preventive maintenance. This maintenance prevents the system from dying out. So it avoids the major issue of obsolescence of the software, and it is renovated according to the new technology. This involves taking measures to prevent future problems such as optimization, updating documentation, reviewing and testing the system, and implementing preventive measures such as backups. So these are the major issues in case of preventive maintenance. The last variety of software maintenance is perfective maintenance. So it defines improving processing efficiency or performance or restricting the software to enhance changeability. So this may contain an enhancement of existing system functionality, improvement in computational efficiency. So the complexity, performance, space complexity, time complexity of the software must be improved in order to add added features or to enhance the existing features, the perfective maintenance is majorly focused. This involves improving functionality, performance, reliability, and restructuring the software system to improve changeability. So these are the major goals of the perfective maintenance. So after analyzing the 4 types of software maintenance, the corrective maintenance is majorly focusing on the monitoring of application maintenance. Adaptive maintenance is majorly concentrating on enhancement. Preventive maintenance is used for supporting activities for the project. And here perfective is to identify bugs and correct it. So all these operations are carried out in the 4 varieties of software maintenance to make the software that can suit for real world environment at the customer site. The challenges of software maintenance is a software program renovation is open-ended and might maintain for decades, making it very expensive. So, open-ended platforms through which the application may be changed, which is a major challenge for the software maintenance. Changes are frequently left undocumented, which can additionally reason greater conflicts in the process. Well documentation for the application is required for user manual to easy access for the application. If the changes are very frequently occurring, those changes can be undocumented, which will cause conflicts in the future. As the era advances, it turns into high prices to preserve vintage software programs. And also, there is a lack of code comments which will guide the software engineer to thoroughly understand the code. And legacy code, maintaining older systems which outdated technologies can be difficult as it may require specialized knowledge and skills. The process of software maintenance is first phase identification, second one analysis, third design, fourth one implementation, next phase testing. In these verification validation activities may be carried out and user acceptance and feedback must be taken in the acceptance testing. Then the software is delivered and put into operation at the customer site. So in the identification and tracing, the process of determining which part of the software need to be modified. So the origin of change can be identified and which may be traced in case of first phase. After tracing the modification need of change, then the process of analyzing suggested modification, including understanding the potential effects such as the change in requirement. So designing the new change using the requirement specification. The process of implementing new modules by the programmer is done in case of implementation. According to this change, the new code must be generated or existing code must be modified. Then this code should not cause unintended side effects so that majorly validation and verification is carried out with the help of regression testing. Then in the delivery phase, the software is delivered to the customer after user acceptance testing. And the maintenance cost majorly involve 2 factors. One is non-technical factor, other one is technical factors. The non-technical factors generally involve the software domain within which the software objects, the boundaries or the input-output, valid and invalid domains plays the major role in case of software domain cost. And the team stability, skills and experience of the team members plays the major role, and the retention rate of the team members are also important factor in the team stability. And the software life cycle, variety of life cycles, which life cycle best suit depending upon the nature of the project, like waterfall model, agile methodology, or Scrum, Crystal, which methodology best suits depending upon the complexity of the project. Next, depending upon external environment and additional features that are supported by the project to enhance security, reliability, and other quality attributes of the project. Not only this, the infrastructure and hardware technology plays the major cost driver for the non-technical factors. For the technical cost factors, the module independence, where the coupling and cohesion of the modules plays the major role, and the programming language, that selection of programming language can also important cost driver for the technical factors, and the style of the programming and program verification and validation techniques, the proper documentation of the program, configuration management techniques are the other cost drivers for the technical factors. These cost drivers adhere to functional programming principles, where the programming structures, control structures, looping structure plays the major role. Follow a transparent development process with proper life cycle methodology or framework. Do not forget about redocumentation whenever a change occurs. These undocumented changes causes conflicts in the future. Hire experienced software developers, where the required skill for the project must be needed, and do not accumulate technical debt. So, the software models must be quick fix model, or iterative enhancement model, or reuse oriented models. In a quick fix model, the main aim of this model is to search for glitches and fix them as soon as possible. So the main advantages of this model is quick fix model is that it works very rapidly at a low price. So the change is quickly identified and the bugs can be easily fixed with a low cost drivers in case of quick fix model. The approach of this model is to modify the coding with minimal considerations. Another variant of software maintenance model is iterative enhancement model. So the primary nature of the change in this model is iterative. So based on the analysis of the existing system, the changes are incorporated in this model. So it requires complete documentation of the software that are available before making any changes. So the documentation freezing is required for this iterative enhancement model. The reuse oriented model. So in this model, the part of the existing system that in the position using it is identified. So where the change is required and where the reuse oriented model can be implemented. So the area of impact of reuse oriented model is identified after analyzing, and this model goes through changes and enhancements as required. Software reengineering refers to updating the existing software without changing its functionality. So the code is rewritten and the software design is changed during this software reengineering, and it is the process of software development that is done to improve the maintainability of the software. So software maintenance and re-engineering are closely related. So to improve the maintainability of the software system, the software re-engineering process is used. The need for software re-engineering reduces the technical debt to improve the performance, add new features, migrate to new platforms, reduce maintenance cost. The objectives of the re-engineering is, major goal of re-engineering is to improve the quality and maintainability of the software and minimizing the risk, cost associated with the redevelopment of the system from the scratch. So the reusability components are majorly focused in the re-engineering to assess quality and maintainability with minimal risk and cost. So to describe a cost-effective option for system evaluation and to distinguish between software and data re-engineering and to explain the problems of data re-engineering. So here the forward engineering plays in case of the re-engineering process. The forward engineering, first the system specifications must be defined in the ISRS. So the design and implementation is carried out based on the freezing requirement. The new system must be evaluated. But in case of software re-engineering, existing software system must be considered, understand and transformation into according to the new technological and infrastructure changes. In the case of re-engineered system must be evolved. So that is the major difference between forward engineering and software re-engineering. The reverse engineering is also major part in case of re-engineering. So here, what is the system to be re-engineered? That automated analysis must be done or manual annotations is provided so that the system information store is used for documentation generation. Document is majorly considered to assist the user in the user manual to simply understand the code with commenting. So the program structure diagrams, data structure diagrams, traceability matrices are developed based on this documentation generation. So in the process of re-engineering, so the source code translation must be done from the original program. So the reverse engineering process, whatever we are dealing, has to be used in case of this reverse engineering, and the program structure must be improved. So proper documentation and structured program, the program as well as proper documentation must be applied to program modularization so that the components are clearly defined, and the modularized program must be given to the data engineering. The data backend is also plays the important role for the smooth functioning of the application. So data can also be re-engineered with the supply of the original data. So not only the code, the data can also be re-engineered. So the approaches of data re-engineering generally used are data cleanup, where the data records and values are analyzed to improve their quality. So data re-engineering is majorly concentrated on updating the backend sources. So here the cleanup is the major method where data quality can be improved. So duplicates are removed, redundant information is deleted, consistent format applied to all records. This should be normally required. Any associated program changes. So normalized data is used in the programs. Next feature is data extension. In this case, the data and associated programs are re-engineered to remove limits on the data processing. So this may require changes to program to increase the field length, modify upper limits, the tables, the data itself may be rewritten, cleaned up to reflect the program changes. And last approach is data migration. In this case, data is moved into control of a modern database management system. The data may be stored in separate files, may be managed by older softwares of database management systems, DBMS. So the reengineering model majorly concentrate on inventory analysis. Why? Because the changes are taken place as in the code, program structure, as well as in the data reengineering. So the cost drivers may be considered and inventory analysis must be done in case of software and hardware requirements. And document restructuring can also be required according to the updates. And reverse engineering, code restructuring, data forward and reverse engineering techniques must be applied in case of re-engineering model. So the major cost drivers of the re-engineering process is the quality of the software to be re-engineered. What are the software tools that are supported for the availability of the re-engineering, the extent of the required data conversion, as well as the availability of expert staff for the re-engineering are the major cost drivers. The factors of re-engineering cost are size and complexity of the software, number of features to be added or modified, tools or technologies that are used, availability of the documentation, team size and skill levels and expertise of the team, testing and quality assurance, post-deployment maintenance. The advantages are reducing in terms of risk as well as the cost and relevance of the business rules and better use of existing staff, increase competitiveness with the help of pair programming techniques and increased innovation are the advantages of re-engineering process. The major disadvantages are disruption to business operations, difficulty in measuring the success, and difficulty in maintaining continuity, lack of employee involvement. So in this video, I discussed about what is the software maintenance, types of software maintenance models, what is re-engineering, forward engineering, reverse engineering in detail. These are the references used in this video. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.